Bert is going to be taking us back in time to visit the good old days. He will share how he got from the Earth to the moon and how we can use some of these principles today. He will be doing a level 4 speech from the Visionary Communications Path. The title of his speech is From the Earth to the Moon. Timekeeper, he will need 15 to 18 minutes. Please help me welcome Bert.
Rebecca introduced the dinosaur in the room, and there's a couple of us. And she was talking about the good old days, the wonderful old days when I grew up, when everything was wonderful. Let me talk to you about the wonderful old days. Let me talk to you about the wonderful old days pre-October 3rd, 1957. The only thing we had to worry about at that time was nuclear bombs. There was a nuclear scare. There was mass proliferation of bombs. Who has more bombs, America or the Russians? And what did they teach us in school? Duck and cover. A firebomb is going to come and you're going to duck underneath kindling. I guess some things never change. But they did. Just when you think it couldn't get any better, it does. Because on October 4th, Sputnik went around. We're Americans. We don't know anything about Sputnik. But I can tell you, as a young child, sitting with my parents, it was in a low Earth orbit, and we saw it going around, and we knew that the Russians would be dropping those atomic bombs on us. No pressure, folks. Nothing at all. So this had started the space race. 3 months later, the United States orbited its first satellite. This all started under Eisenhower. And we got a lot of the same scientists, same type of scientists that the Russians did after World War II. We got a lot of Germans. But it's kind of race to see whose Germans were better. But it boiled down to the fact that in September 12th, 1962, we had a challenge thrown at us by JFK. And he said, we will go to the moon and the other things in this decade. Wait a minute, in this decade, this is the end of 1962, and you're talking about 1970. 1/5 of the rockets we're trying to test blow up. 1/5 of them. And you're going to put us on the moon before the end of the decade? Now, the dinosaur in me reached out because in the old days, when we used to take a trip, we were going from the Earth to the moon. Or not necessarily the moon, to Earth to someplace else. We'd call somebody, and they'd make us a thing called a triptych. And the person we called was AAA. And you'd wait a week, and you'd get your fantastic map in the mail, and it would fold out, and you could follow it, and you knew how to get there. Well, I think there was a AAA involved with our trip to the moon also. And the first day I want to talk about is awaken. What was happening was JFK was awakening in us another way of thinking. We had been complacent. Things had changed. So now we needed another way of thinking. The second A was accept. We had to accept the need to change. And the third way was advance. We had to provide the tools and equipment to get the people to the moon. So not only did we do it in that decade, which if you do your math, friends, we had an 8-year period. We did it in less than 7 years. But you know, the dinosaurs are fading. But the AAA still works. It just works a little different. Now, I know many of you know Tony Robbins. I know people go gaga over Tony Robbins, but Tony Robbins' mentor was Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn's mentor was Napoleon Hill. All good information. So just because something is old doesn't mean it's bad. So what we want to do in these days to awaken the audience that we're trying to reach, our prospects are sitting behind a wall of noise. By that, I mean, a recent study showed that last year, the average American adult spent 59 hours a week online. They spent more time online than they did sleeping. And I thought this was all kind of fishy. I thought, well, that can't be right. So I happened to be looking at the entertainment section of a website, and it said in 2019, pre-COVID, that the entertainment industry itself pulled in $11.4 billion. And you think to yourself, wow, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money than you have in a lot of small countries. And then to my surprise, I found out that there was another thing that happened. Online gaming, $57 billion, 5 times the amount of money is spent on online gaming that was then spent on entertainment, movies and such. The audience is online. If you're going to get people, they're online. That's where they're at. But you have to awaken them. You have to awaken them from their smartphones. And you can see them. I go to the Y and I work out, and they're walking around the track like this, like zombies with phones. They can't do anything without their phone, or they're connected, or they can't just stop and talk to you. You have to break through this. You have to get them to accept they have a need. I know a lot of you say, oh, I accept I have a need. You see it every day. You see it January 1st. I need to lose weight. Oh, I need to stop smoking. Oh, I need to exercise. How's that going? How's it going for you? It's one thing to accept that there's a need. And I know that I'm one of those. I smoked for half my life when I quit. And every morning I get up and want to quit. I say, I need to quit. I know I need to quit. And I didn't, and until I finally found a way to commit to make me go over the line. And that's when you have to advance. You have to ignite movement. And that's what we need to do. You have to ignite the movement that makes people want to change. Get them to accept this. You have to propose whatever you've got to them in such a way that they wake up screaming in the middle of the night because they want what you have. When it comes to public speaking, this terrifies many people. You can put things to people in such a way that it will motivate them to advance. Advance is where they put the commitment and their feet on the pavement. That's where they get going. Even though they have a fear of failure, even though they have past actions said, I can't do this. What do I do if it doesn't work? What successful people do, what Tony Robbins and a lot of those people do, is they make a family. They have a family affair. When you commit to them, and you commit to many people, it's not, oh, once a week or twice a month. You're getting invites every day. You're part of their family. There's Facebook groups, there's gatherings. Even though they can't physically touch, there's challenges. There's shared experience. Shared experience might be, well, this didn't quite work out as good as I hoped, but it was a learning experience for me. I'm going to keep going at it. This family experience is what brings people together, and that's what makes some of these things work. One of my favorite shows on TV at this time, there's a lot of them, but my favorite one about restoring cars is called Iron Restoration. And they basically go out and they take a car, and time upon time, I look at them and I say, what's going on here? They take the car and they take out everything that doesn't work and doesn't work right, and they put new in. They might put a new suspension in, they put new brakes in, they put a new interior in. It's still the same frame of the car. So what I'm saying to you is, what worked 60 years ago, what worked 20 years ago, what worked 5 years ago, what worked a year ago, it may need some modification. And you got to be ready for the change. As Toastmasters, we've had to accept this. I'm trying to join a Rotary Club in Springfield, and they refuse to meet online. They refuse. And I said to them, do you know how many people you're missing because you won't have an online meeting? And it's just like, whew. So it's your life, it's your business, it's your club. You can do whatever you want, and you can put as much into it as you want. But sooner or later, you may want to do a little research and find out that, you know what, the stuff that Tony Robbins had, and I've done one of his courses, everything he taught me there, I could have learned on YouTube. Everything he taught me, and there were some good things in there, was available. All he's done is take information that's available and given it to you in a grouping with a group of people, which is what we are. We are a family of Toastmasters. We are a family to be together, to work together, to grow together, and to help each other. And that is how you're really going to take off. I'm wearing this vest today to celebrate a gentleman called Gene Kranz. Gene Kranz was the chief flight director at NASA during the Gemini and Apollo missions. And every time they would have a new mission, if you ever watched the movie Apollo 13, his wife made him a new vest. Well, this is my new vest because next month, I'm going to be the chief flight director. And I'm going to want you to come on in my crew and Capcom and every other post and help make this family grow. And we may be trying some things that don't work out too well. And we may be trying some things that work. But as a family, we're going to go together and we're going to take this club to the moon and beyond. Namaste.